You like my buffalo?
Is that new?
No.
I've never seen you wear that before.
Yes, you have.
No, I've never seen
Yeah.
it. I've never seen the buffalo sweater.
That's not true.
When
I've worn it. I've taken it with me to New York.
When did you get it? Huh, 2 weeks ago.
4 years ago.
2 weeks ago. 4 days ago.
No, it's not it.
I've never seen it. I would recognize and remember a buffalo sweater.
It's so cool, right? It's my buffalo sweater.
Do you go to the casino and gamble on the buffalo slot machine?
Oh my God. I have to go and wear my buffalo sweater.
There's a slot machine for anyone who doesn't know that Autumn likes to play.
Buffalo!
It's
makes that sound at you.
It's buffalo themed. I have no clue how it works. Sometimes you win $150 and I have no understanding as to why.
No, it gives you like bonus rounds, and then in those bonus rounds you get extra spins, and then all of a sudden your total is just going up and up and up and up. And you don't know why. And then sometimes like eagles will appear.
Yeah, you'll get an eagle. You'll get an eagle.
Wings.
Yeah, an eagle perched on a plateau, and you think then 6 of them pop up, and you think this is it. I won, and then you get nothing.
I don't know how to play it, but it's my favorite game.
Well, now you have a buffalo sweater that you got 4 days ago that will
4 years ago
go along with it.
Yeah,
I've never seen this thing.
I swear.
You know my memory. I have a great memory, photographic memory. People say what was I wearing on April 23rd, 2006, and I tell you exactly what you were wearing. You were wearing a shirt with polka dots with a little tie near the shoulders, and you were wearing some jeans and some jellies.
Who is this person?
You. It's you.
That's me. Ask me what you were wearing April 4th, 2012.
What?
Cut off jean shorts, crop top.
You did this wrong. You should have said
socks.
What were you wearing April? What was the date you gave? Doesn't matter.
4th.
April 4th. What were you wearing April 4th, 2000? 2000. 0. That's what I meant. 2001 then. Let's say 2001 because you didn't know me in 2000. And then you could have said Jinkos and a backwards DC shoes hat and a ball-bearing hemp necklace and a split long sleeve t-shirt.
Yeah. Did you ever cut the bottom of your jeans up the side to fit over your shoes? Remember when we were doing that?
Yeah, I did that, sadly.
Yeah. What? Why? I'm also remembering wanting my pants, not just my jeans, like Jinkos, not just that sort of thing, but like nice pants to cover my whole foot.
You wanted the whole foot to be covered.
Yeah. And maybe to have like a little bit of a high heel or something underneath it. What a weird... I feel like everyone looks so much better now.
I cut the jeans only on the inside. Some people would do the outside and the inside.
Oh, yeah. Outside is where it's at.
No, the inside. You're talking about
on the right hand, like on the outside of your leg?
On the inside of my leg.
Mm-mm.
On both sides on the inside. I wouldn't cut on the outside. I wasn't cutting on the outside. It was a cut on the inside.
No, that's incorrect.
Well, because you were going for style over function. I was going for function so it fit over my shoe, and you just wanted to style it up.
Well, but the style was for it to fit over your shoe in this weird way.
Yeah, but I didn't want people to see the cut. Because I wasn't all about showing off. I did
both ways too, I think.
I wasn't all about showing off. I was comfortable in my self-image. You like that? The way I give a little teaser about today's show?
Yeah, it's good.
I knew who I was. Just kidding. It took me many, many, many years to understand that.
Yeah.
I look at this lid I got from the bodega. They didn't have the lid that I like. They only had the flat lid with the flap on it.
Mm-hmm. The best.
No, it's spilled 6 times walking home because the lid doesn't serve any real purpose. It's just.
Why are you walking so haphazardly?
It's just, there's snow on the ground, one. Well, it's ice at this point.
There's still?
It's compacted ice at this point. Even if normal walking, this lid doesn't contain any liquid, and the fact that it exists is an insult. That anybody would think that this is a lid. It gives a false sense of security. This lid is what it does. You think, oh, I have a lid, I'll be safe, and I'm not going to scald my hand with this piping hot coffee. And it just finds every little place it can pour out of this flat lid. It does.
At least, though, with that lid, before you like crack the front open, you could sort of tilt it on its side and it won't spill.
Yeah, you should have to carry your coffee precariously on its side, a little tilted. There's a 6-degree angle for this lid to work. Come on, this is.
You think those other ones are better? The lifted up, the taller lids, with just the little hole in the front.
Yeah, because it extends above the rim of the cup, so the coffee sloshes around above the rim. It doesn't matter because there's extra room.
Aesthetically, I think that those look better.
Functionally,
the flat ones. No, the flat ones I like more.
The ones I like, the raised ones with the little sipping hole, that is the inside cut on the jeans and the outside cut on the jeans, because aesthetically and functionally, it's much better. And do you know what this is? This
outside our sipping hole.
This flat one. You know what this is?
What?
A pair of jeans that's in the landfill. That's what this one is. It serves zero purpose. Also,
how dare you condemn the flat lid?
Walking back, I heard some guy talking to his friends. Like, I'm just a big fan of toffee. I like a good chewy toffee. That's what you talk about?
I'm just a big fan of toffee. Oh my God, I love toffee.
This is, the friend said, oh, it's very easy to make. And I just kept walking.
It's so easy to make.
It's like, are you glad you left your apartment in this cold weather to go sit outside in a tent at a place to have a beer and have this discussion? This is.
I'm just a big fan of toffee.
You go home at night and you think, that was really worth it. That was really worth my time leaving tonight.
Hey, how was it? Oh, it was great. We had this really great conversation about toffee.
Yeah, what an intriguing, thought-provoking conversation. I feel like a totally different person now. I'm glad that I had it. I'm enriched. My life is enriched because I talked to this goof about his love of toffee.
What do we talk about?
Well, don't put me there. I think about that all the time. These discussions that we have on this show, I'll shut it down. If you start lumping me in with the toffee guy, I'll shut this down.
Toffee guy, what a moron.
Well, it's not that far off. We're not that far off from Toffee Guy, and I'm well aware of it.
No. Hit the bricks.
Nope, it's done.
Oh, no.
I love a good toffee.
I'm a big fan of toffee.
When are you going to do the next podcast? I'm not. I'm killing myself.
Welcome to One Topic, where we stick to one topic. My name is Autumn Fisher.
My name is Greg Russ. Autumn, it's your week to give us a topic, so take it away.
I want to talk about self-image.
And what do you mean by this? You look in the mirror and you say, wow, I'm fat. Not you, just in general.
Wow.
No, in general.
Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying people look at themselves and their self-image is all distorted and skewed as to what reality really is. And that was not a reference to you. You are not.
Body dysmorphia, are you talking about?
You want self-image. Your self-image. Yeah. How you view yourself as an ugly monster. That's how I used to view myself. With crowded bottom teeth and a big nose and moles. I said, look at this hideous troll that belongs in a cave that should never see the light of day. Who the hell is going to like this beast? That's self-image.
Yeah. Sure. And then you kind of fulfilled that for a while and found out that you're not a cave dweller.
I fulfilled what? Living like a troll that locked away in a cave?
Uh-huh.
How so?
I feel like there was a time in that tiny apartment where you didn't leave. Was there a stretch of time where you were really holed up in there?
No, I mean, that's the thing. I would leave. I was actually going out more often, but that apartment did serve as a cave. We can say that. It was a small, dark apartment, not much natural light. The funny thing is I would leave more than I leave at this age. COVID aside, normal times, I was younger, I was going out. But emotionally, I was still locked up in that apartment. So I would go out, I'd go through the motions, I'd have some drinks with friends. Friends would talk about doing creative things. I'd say, yeah. Then I'd go back. I was in no spot to, do any of those things. So sure, the troll was there. That wasn't based on my idea of having too big of a nose and crooked teeth or moles, though. That was much younger when those things kept me feeling bad about myself.
Did someone perpetuate that with you? Did someone call that out on you?
With the nose thing, someone did. We've talked about the
nose thing. We all know you tried to smush your nose down.
Well, we talked about this before. I know on the show. In middle school, there was this kid Moses, and he had a big nose. And this kid, and we were in PE class, and this other kid said, "Yeah, noses." And it's like, and then he looked at me. He's like, "Yours is no better." And then that was it. That's all it took. I don't even know who this kid was. I don't even know if I've ever even spoken to him before. He just appeared. He appeared to make that comment, which led me on a path of smashing my own nose for the next 2 years. Riding a bus to Washington, D.C. on a field trip in 8th grade, where we went up for several days. Yeah. I would put my arms down on the tray table and smash my nose into the bone on my wrist, the bridge of my nose.
That's so sad.
And that's all I saw in the mirror was this giant nose, thanks to this one kid. And then I was obsessed with my bottom teeth crowding because I didn't have my wisdom teeth taken out because I was scared to, for reasons that have also been discussed at times.
Yeah, for good reasons.
My parents taking me to get my teeth pulled when I was a kid and not telling me that was what was going to happen. Ugh. So I put off getting my wisdom teeth taken out until I was 29, once I finally had those things taken out, I walked home with such a pep in my step. I walked from the oral surgeon, which was maybe a 10, 15-minute walk. Blood pouring out of my mouth because it was still numb and I couldn't feel the blood coming out. But I felt like I had defeated the world because I'd finally done it. But, with the wisdom teeth and my bottom teeth, I felt like they were crowding, and I used to bite styrofoam and then look at the styrofoam and keep a piece of styrofoam and then bite a new one and compare it to see if it was getting more crowded.
Oh. So obsessive.
Yeah, and then I had a mole on my knee as a kid that I hated. It wasn't even a mole; it was like a freckle, and nobody cared about it. Nobody even ever saw it. Probably, I hated the thing. I tried scraping it off several times.
Ugh. I have a little mole like on the back of my calf, and sometimes when I was like shaving my legs early on, I would cut it, and for some reason, like that grossed me out more than anything.
Well, they bleed a lot.
Yeah, and I mean, your ankles. When you cut them, they weirdly bleed a lot too, but I don't know. Cutting the mole gives me the creeps.
So, skin tags are moles. They're like moles.
What are skin tags? They're always in folds, right?
Yeah, wherever your skin rubs up against other skin if you're overweight or clothing. I used to have one on my waist where my waistband would be for my underwear. But these things have no nerves in them. So I just cut the thing off. I grabbed it and took some scissors that I put over an open flame on the stove and cut.
So they're ready to go.
But I almost vomited because it's a piece of you that was attached to you that now suddenly is in your hand and is loose from your body.
Yeah.
It didn't hurt. It bled a lot, but it didn't hurt.
Ew, but then what did it leave behind? Just an opening?
No, but then it heals, and I couldn't even tell you where it just scabs over. I couldn't even tell you where it is now.
Whoa.
Whatever rim was left, dies and falls off. So anyway, when we're talking about self-image, is that what you're talking about? What you see when you look in the mirror and is not necessarily reality?
Yes. I think I weirdly have body dysmorphia, but in a way that's not as damaging, I don't think of myself looking the way that I think I actually do look. I think in my mind that I look better than maybe the way I do.
No, you're the reverse. You look in
I'm the reverse.
In your mind, you're like, I'm the God's gift.
No, not like the God's gift, but I think like, cool, I'm like this. I'm small, I'm little, and I'm cute, and I look different. Something about her is different. She's just not like a normal person walking around. But in reality, especially when I weighed a little bit more and I would see myself in pictures, I was like, oh.
Well,
that's not what I feel like,
Yeah, I think that reality lies somewhere in between. Also, maybe it doesn't lie somewhere in between. Maybe what you think of yourself is actually what is well, no, that's not true. I was going to say maybe what you think of yourself is reality. But if you do weigh like 600 pounds and you think that you look like you weigh 100, then that's not the reality. Also, I don't like that we're talking about weight so much. I think
it doesn't have to. It's not just about that, but
I think it's probably a thing that people get caught up on. Mostly, though, that they think they are fatter than they really are. And again, I swear I didn't. When we opened the show, I was not implying that you're overweight.
You mean when you opened the topic in a way that talked about my weight?
It's just the most accessible thing. People are like, oh my God, look at me. I'm a blob. This is what a amorphous.
See, that's what I'm saying. I have the opposite. I feel like, I look better than I do.
But I was going to say that can happen too. I understand how that happens. When I was putting on weight, when I was working the night shift, 7 to midnight, and then going out and boozing and eating Crystal every night and sleeping until noon. I was putting on weight, and I didn't, in your mind, you're like, I've never been overweight. Then you look in the mirror like, oh, well, okay. It's happening a little bit. So, I don't think it's so unheard of for you to feel that way.
Even when I was pregnant and I was huge, I didn't, it's like my body's not, I'm sorry, my brain isn't used to what my body actually looks like. My brain is used to my like average. And so I don't see the weight like I think is actually visible.
Also, how often do you look at yourself in the mirror?
A lot.
Oh, you're one of those people. You
don't own a mirror.
There's a mirror in the bathroom, and that's all I need. A medicine cabinet mirror.
You can only see from your eyebrows up.
What more do you need to see? I don't need to look at myself in a mirror quite often. I don't want to see myself.
I need to look and see what like an outfit looks like.
Yeah, if I need to see what an outfit looks like, I look in the mirror at a different angle. I put
run downstairs.
I put my foot up
window so you can see yourself.
No, you can still angle it and see yourself in the mirror down to your feet.
No,
not
for a short person who's so tall, tiny, and cute like me.
Well, I don't like looking at myself, and maybe this is part of the self-image. Photos of me I can't stand. In my mind, I never knew how I came off to other people, and this is more just physical looks, but how I moved and acted. And in my mind, watching myself from across the room, I was just this awkward, gangly mess. And therefore, I avoided mirrors, pictures, video. I never wanted to be in any of it. The fact that we live in a world where people it's interesting. I was going to say love taking pictures of themselves, then running them through filters and making it so it's not who they actually are. So that's maybe a thing we can get into. But, there's more pictures of children out there who are 2 years old than of me in my entirety.
That might be true. Well, it's just because of the time that we grew up.
Some of it's the time, but also it's like I avoided. I don't try to take my picture. Nobody tried to take my picture. It's like there's part of me that reacts in a way when the picture's being taken that it comes out worse than it really needs to be anyway. So it's self-fulfilling. And then I look at it and like, oh my God, that's what I look like.
So I want to talk about that, but I do want to mention the thing about filters. I think that those are really dangerous because you're looking at yourself and you're like, wow, I look so good through this filter. And it makes you feel confident, but only in this really fake way. I'm not breaking new ground. I know that this is knowledge. But once you turn it off, and you're just looking at just yourself in the camera, then all of a sudden, just by comparison, you look horrible. And I feel like it's and then you start to sort of absorb that and say like, oh, I do look horrible. I want to look like the filters make me look.
I want to look fake. I want to look like a fucking cartoon. I want to look like an illustration.
There are those subtle ones where you don't look like
the big doe eyes with the sparkles and the fucking fake freckles. It's a goddamn
those
cartoon.
Are fake. That's fine. But when you see those other ones that are more subtle, it just does little things. Like it smooths out your skin, and it makes your lips or your teeth or your eyes look a little bit, brighter. And
it's gross. I get angry about this because people are like, oh no, it doesn't hurt society to have, these false images of what beauty is thrown at you at any given moment through television and advertising, all the shit. Like, no, it's fine. It's obviously affected everyone. Everyone has this idea of what they should look like, and there's zero self-acceptance. And
well, that's what's nice about, there's a lot of sort of pro-natural sort of things on Instagram and businesses that are not editing stretch marks or skin texture or the people's weight looking a certain way, like a Maybelline or something is doing that, or like Target. I think the picture.
Wait. Maybelline couldn't do that because Maybelline's whole tagline is maybe she's born with it. Maybe it's Maybelline. So they're saying that either you're born good looking, and if you're not, Maybelline's here to fix the job.
I don't know if it's Maybelline. Maybe it's Revlon. I don't know, but it's somebody. Roll the.
Maybe she's born with it. This didn't make her jingles. Maybe she's born with it. Maybe she's really ugly and it's Maybelline. Here to save the day. And I don't think this whole show needs to be about beauty and physical appearance, but obviously that's a big part of self-image. And I know that we've hit these topics before in past episodes. It is a shame. What you're talking about, though, this movement, is that this in itself, though, feels disingenuous to me. It feels more just like a rebellion against the other side. So you do have people like, look at me, I'm so beautiful the way and I don't even want to say, in beauty's in the eye of the beholder. And quite often people say, yo, have some pride. You actually are ugly and you need to accept it. It's like, shut up. I really don't want to get into that argument. But a lot of it is like, we're just going to rebel against this one side of it. And I don't know. Does it do harm? No. Is it for the best ultimately compared to the other side of sticking to what, society says the standards of beauty are? Then sure, people who want to say that they're beautiful when they have, well, that's this thing. I don't want to say anything because someone listening, I don't want to make anyone feel bad because I know how one comment can make you fucking obsess and break your own fucking nose.
Right. And it really is, that kind of thing really is about accepting that you're not the only person with this, whatever it may be, whatever you're hyper focused on, and that other people don't notice that. And even if they do, you have to be okay with, this is so lame sounding, but you have to be okay with yourself. You have to just say like, yeah, I mean, for me, I know that I'm not like the most beautiful anything or the cutest whatever. I just feel like I'm just me.
I'm just laughing because I have this idea of you thinking you're an anime character.
Yeah.
Like your self-image is I'm an anime character.
Mm-hmm. There was a time that would have been pretty awesome. But and especially especially with aging and being a woman who's aging and who's aging naturally, things are different on my face. And knowing the direction that ultimately is going to go, which is eventually you're going to have like legit old woman face. I have to be comfortable each step of the way so that I can get to that place and then ultimately be okay. And understand that this is just the natural way, and that the way that people age who do things to their face is not realistic. And it's not even something I really want. I don't want to look like those people. But it's in those tiny ways where it's like, yeah, under my eyes are getting like really wrinkly and weird, and that's weird. And then it's like when I smile, these lines coming out from my eyes get longer,
It's just
I don't know,
obsession.
and like jowls and things. Like it's all happening, and you can't fight it. You have to get to a place where you accept it.
Yeah, I mean, it obviously is something that's been said many times before that people have heard in their lives over and over and over. Just become accepting of yourself. It's a very hard thing to do. Physical, as we've mentioned in other shows, and we did have a show on aging, it's tied to this obsession of youth for whatever reason. You can only do nice things, fun things when you're young. Maybe that is because people rush into other things and handcuff themselves and ruin their lives with 6 children. 2's manageable. 2's. This is not commentary on you.
Okay, I wasn't taking it that way.
I'm just saying that there's responsibility that I feel like there's quite often I say things about kids and they're generalized statements, and then I go, yeah, Autumn has kids.
Yeah,
that's all. That's the truth. That's the truth. And look, there's the whole other side of it where there's these creatures that love you because they have to, and because you make them feel safe and you give them food. That's nice. I don't get to experience that.
That's all. Just food. They love you like a hamster might because they know they're going to get food. You're going to change their bedding.
You can help them grow into good people. That's a nice thing to be able to do. And it's just
That's another thing. It's showing them. Honestly, so I was going to say too, a lot of being uncomfortable with something physical and like I said, hyper-focused on something about your self-image is something mental. There's something else behind that. That's just a bit. Fixing the thing, your nose being too big is the Band-Aid, is the symptom of something else.
What would you say in my case?
Anxiety?
Yeah, sure. I never even thought about a nose size before. This person stated it.
But for some reason, you didn't feel comfortable expressing yourself to people in your family.
Don't blame my family, just in general.
I'm not blaming them. I'm just saying.
Just in general, I didn't have a good way to express myself. Because let me tell you, the truth about me is I'm an emotional, sensitive person. And as a boy, this is the reality. And there's some people who may be listening like, yeah, pussy, you sensitive and emotional. Fuck you. That's where I am at this point. Because I grew up, as a boy, you were told that these things are bad traits. These are negative traits. You shouldn't be emotional. You shouldn't be sensitive. You need to be strong and tough, and you can't have these feelings. And then at some point, the only acceptable emotion is anger. So things get channeled into anger. Everything turns into anger. And then you develop these ways to deal with the sensitivity because it's not going away. It's not going anywhere. And you can't get rid of it. So you feel like something's wrong because you've been told that these are traits you shouldn't have as a boy/man. And you come up with convoluted coping mechanisms and ways to avoid those feelings. And ways to process them that are just, it's a web of, I don't even know how the fuck I got here. So sure, you're right, but don't blame my.
You know that more than your family.
Well, sometimes this is you're fed these things. This is the way society is supposed to be. Maybe my family wasn't as progressive as people are these days thinking about. They're like, I don't know, this is the way it's supposed to be. Mm-hmm. You do this as a man, and look, there's certain things you can still do as a man. But as far as self-image goes, yeah, outside of physical appearance for quite a long time, I had no fucking clue who I was. I had zero idea. I didn't have a self-image. I didn't know. I mean, that's a lie. I had an idealized image, which is a self-image, but these are just things that you want to be. And those things lived in a negative space, meaning they were a lack of things. I'm going to live modestly. I don't need things. I don't have needs. I don't want things. I just moved into this space like this is the best place for me to be. There's nothing. And then so there's this idea that I can live without needing anything. That's my self-image, which is impossible to do. So when you can't live like that, you feel like you're failing because, oh my God, I do actually have needs. And then you beat yourself up and you say you're a piece of shit. And then that becomes your self-image. So, sure, my big nose, my dislike of my big nose came from the inability for me to accept my emotions, because my emotions didn't make sense to me. They weren't logical. I was smart. I like to operate in logic. I could use logic to explain away my emotions. That doesn't make sense. You shouldn't be feeling like this. This is what the situation is. The situation doesn't call for those feelings. The truth is the feelings are very valid, though, because they're real. They happen naturally.
Feelings and logic are not connected.
You're going to tell me lava's not real? Lava's real. Burn the fuck out of you. You know why? It just happens naturally. It's part of the earth. It's the way, part of Mother Nature. And emotions are part of that, too. Just part of the way things are. So to say that they're not valid is bullshit.
Yeah.
There's my rant. So my self-image, I didn't know for quite a long time, and it's still something that I'm figuring out, but I have a better grasp on it than I ever have. I still don't like the mole on my knee. I'm going to rip the fucking thing off.
You need to make friends with that mole.
No.
Like, mole, you and I, we've been together a long time, and I've gone through my phases with you of not liking you.
This is why I don't wear shorts. I don't have to see
the thing. Is that really the reason?
No, I just don't like shorts.
It's so dumb that you don't like shorts.
No, because the style's fucking ugly. I'm cursing a lot on this show. Shorts, no one wants to see men's legs.
Yes, they do. In the summertime, we don't give a fuck.
I don't want to see men's legs. I don't want to see my legs.
It's the same thing as like a woman who's, looks a certain way, as long as they're confident. It doesn't matter.
All right. Well, my self-image is a person who does not wear shorts.
You've hitched your wagon to that, and now you refuse to wear shorts.
It's fine. It's harmless.
Not even in the summertime in your own house.
Let me have this. This one's harmless. It's not hurting anyone.
All right.
It's not hurting me.
If you need it, thank you for expressing your need. I will respect it.
Just because I need to peel off my pants in the summer when it's very hot.
You wring them out. There's a puddle of sweat.
They don't come off easily. They do stick.
Yeah, I'm aware. I might do the same thing.
But going back to the other, self-image, I'm going back to physical, tied to youth. Everyone has this idea that youth is where you want to be. And then I bring up the other aspect of it where I'm just finally getting to be comfortable with who I am. And my self-image is actually who I am. It's I'm at this point, I am comfortable. And then but people are longing to go back to this time when it fucking sucked. When it's you have no idea who you are. You're wearing Jinko jeans because that's what the other person... Why are you wearing such asinine pants? I don't know. My friends wear them too. What? Do you like those? Do you like dragging around 16 pounds of denim because the cuffs on the pants are 64 inches? Do you enjoy this? No, but my friends do it. Why is there a longing to go back to a time when you don't have wrinkles, but you have zero clue of who the fuck you are? Nobody does. I don't care what anyone says. Some people maybe are better at faking it, or they're popular, so it's easier for them. They don't get caught up. Some people aren't just as anxious. Some people aren't some people aren't as anxious, so then they don't get caught up in as much. But nobody fucking knows. And some people don't ever even take the time to figure out. And I think it's when they get older and they look back on the things that they have regrets about and the things they want to do. It's it's tied to youth. Well, I was carefree then, and I could do whatever I wanted. It's no, you know why you're not doing what you want? You know why you're not getting things you want? Because you still have no idea who you are, and you have this idea that you did when you were a kid, when you could just go run around and act foolishly.
Yeah, that's I want to go back to when I wasn't self-aware. And now that I am more self-aware and realize the importance of my existence in this little universe I've created, I don't like it. And so I want to go back to when I had no responsibilities.
And then that's what people grasp onto, and they say, oh, I have wrinkles and I'm so ugly now. Oh my God. Oh, look at me. I can't handle aging. Maybe if you're comfortable with who you were, you wouldn't care as much outside of death.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It's a mental thing. Finding purpose or fulfillment in some other way as opposed to just something physical. The importance of this weird physical thing that you're thinking about as a negative, I think will dissipate if you take care of something mental. It's the same thing that men have with the size of their penises. There are some men that are so obsessed with their penis being a certain way that they tie all of their self-worth into that. You know what I mean? And what really is lacking is some sort of something mentally.
Well, it's just, it's hammered home, jackhammered home. The size of the penis is the size of your masculinity, which is the most important.
Right.
I don't even know where that comes from. Some of it maybe is built. I don't know. In nature, if men are running around without pants and the biggest dick.
But bigger dicks doesn't have anything to do with fertility.
Attracts the woman. No, I think it's tied to this gross idea that I'm really just going to slam it home. I don't know what the appeal there is for some dudes, but it is. It's like, I don't really care about the woman. I'm going to get it and I'm going to slam it home. And she's going to enjoy this.
I don't think I've ever heard that phrasing.
Well, it's meant to relay crudity.
Yeah.
Because I do think that dudes I don't know what the appeal for a bigger penis is. I think if you talk to guys who have really big penises, some of them are that's not their choice or regretful. It's not they're just kind of sad. Like it doesn't really work.
There is a point where it's too big. Like women can't handle it, or they can't even get enough blood to it for it to be as rigid as maybe would be useful.
That's what I mean, like the monster ones.
Yeah. But even just like a above average penis, I mean, it depends on the lady, because then it can like reach certain things. But that doesn't mean that someone with a smaller size can't also reach certain things or do certain things, you know? But it's about the person being comfortable with what they have and feeling confident about it.
It's just this weird competition.
Yeah.
That is the most basic, unthoughtful, shallow form of, am I a good man? I have a big dick? Yes, I'm in.
My dick big? Me good?
But that's the self-image with penises. Like there are dudes look at them, unless it's known that it's big. If you don't have a big one, there's a real struggle with guys. They think it's smaller than it is. Like this is very embarrassing. I can't ever show this to any woman ever. And it's like, those studies where the average it's like they're off because dudes lie.
Yeah.
They lie about it. To a study where their names aren't even attached to it.
Yeah.
It's like they can't admit it to themselves.
The average is actually smaller than you'd think.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Like 4 something.
I can't state that that's the actual average. I'll listen to you. I believe you. But yeah, it's because dudes are lying about it, even when their names are not attached to it.
Right.
I feel like it's 5.
Oh, it's a lot higher than I thought.
Now, what are you looking at? Are you doing?
I just Googled average penis size.
Yeah, you can't just go off the first thing. You want it. It's all over the fucking map.
Okay. There's all different kinds of options for like Americans. For men.
Anyway. It's a thing. I guess it's nice that dudes can hide it in their pants. And it's not on their face. Like could you imagine a dick on a face? That's how you had to have sex. Instead of the nose, you had the dick.
Yeah, I mean,
for the whole world to see.
Isn't there like a sea lion that kind of looks like that?
I don't know.
Is it like an elephant sea lion?
You're gonna look that. There's some. I don't know. There's
elephant seals.
Yeah, does it look like they have penises on their face? Yeah, they
look like they got like a big floppy donkey dick on the front of their face.
Oh yeah. Is that what it looks like? I mean, at least it's a nice size. It's a giant wide one.
Oh, and then it would get erect and be all weird, sticking up weird.
Yeah, when you're attracted to a woman and you just...
Then you really couldn't hide it.
No,
it wouldn't ever be on your face because it has to be protected.
It doesn't need to be protected. It'd be fine.
Yes, it does.
You just put a sock over. There'd be a special sock to put over your nose dick.
No, but your body naturally protects it. And its little testy brothers. It protects it. They suck up for warmth.
Yeah, they'd suck into your jaw. There's a way to make this work.
Big jaw bone people, except they're just like testicles.
It becomes an obsession, though. And I think that's...
For anything. Like I said, your nose, people's dudes' penises, women's breast size, women's body shape.
I'm starting jelking.
women's eyes, women's, whatever, everything.
I'm going to be rejected. I need to jelk.
What's jelk?
It's a penis stretching exercise.
It is.
You create micro tears, and then apparently when they heal, it supposedly makes your penis look longer and thicker.
Is that just like the inside? It like pull like the tendons or whatever that's holding.
It's like the tissue.
Together.
You're just ripping the tissue, micro tears, and supposedly by ripping it, it's expanding it, and then it heals, and it's ridiculous.
Like you're pulling it down?
The fact that I don't know the actual way the exercise goes.
Because the micro tears would make me think that it would scar and start to like turn.
I mean, look, there's a whole industry dedicated to ripping people off. Send us $100 and get 4 pills, and it's going to grow your. Get out of here.
It's the same with breasts. Women are they're sold the same thing as like teens. There's like special bras that suck your boobs out, and like here's some special pills that will help them grow, and it's to look at others and to see the way that they look as better than you, I think is natural, right? To see someone who in some way is more attractive or something than you feel about yourself, but then to not have any other worth for yourself. You know what I mean? Like I said before, I'm not someone that looks like someone special, but there are other things about me that fulfill me, and I don't need to look so striking.
Well, that's the key. I think I can't state this as fact, but I would be willing to bet some money on it, and obviously not everyone is going to fall into what I say, but the more attractive you are, especially when you're younger, I bet the less self-aware you are, and the less time you spend trying to figure out who you actually are, because you get more things and it's easier for you, and then you do actually get old. And at that point, I wonder what the state of your life is like. And again, I'm sure there are attractive people out there who've put in the work. But I would say the percentages are probably pretty high. Most people don't do. Maybe they start it later in life if they're lucky enough to have that kind of self-awareness. We're like, all right, I got to figure this out now because I can't stop aging.
Having a really beautiful kid is like a kid growing up wealthy. You have to put in the extra work, So like if you grow up wealthy, then you have to work harder to teach your kids about the benefit of working hard. You have to withhold things from them so that they can earn things instead of just being given it and then grow up without drive, And if you have a really beautiful kid, then you have to work hard to teach them that this isn't the only thing that's about them.
Are you talking about actual beautiful kids or every kid, because every parent thinks their kid is the most amazing, beautiful, cutest thing on the planet? Even,
that your kid,
even when it looks like a jellyfish, like, oh, it's the most beautiful baby ever, do parents know? Your kids aren't ugly, so I know you can't answer this.
I guess I don't know.
But
listen, I know that my kids aren't like gorgeous.
But a parent would have to know, right? Their kid would look like a jellyfish.
But you're biologically driven.
Doesn't mean you shouldn't love the thing.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm saying though, I don't think you probably see them as ugly as maybe they might be. I saw a picture of a baby the other day that was supposed to be so cute, and I thought it was kind of gross. It looked like a weird little puppet baby, and I didn't like it.
Yeah, the rest of the world is fawning over it. But anyway, not to distract from your point. Yes, you have to put in more work. It does start early with the parents at that point trying to teach. But
yeah, because so many people are also, they don't see the child as a separate being, and they feel like it's a reflection of themselves. And so then they perpetuate they're proud of their child being so beautiful. And so then again, it reinforces to the child that this is something that has currency.
It's an extension of self. And then
once that starts to fade, because it will, or maybe they just go through puberty. God forbid someone goes from cute to like weirdo puberty person. That weird in between. Oh, that horrible in between puberty thing where everybody's weird. Yeah, middle school.
That's where I feel like I lived forever. I just got stuck there in my mind. It's like, this is awful. But, you know, the kid is an extension of the parents, and then the parents looking for value in that. This whole self-image thing, it really just lives in figuring out who you actually are, being honest about that, and becoming okay with it. It's work. It takes work. It's not just something you do. And it's always thrown out there in motivational posters or some book of quotes. And it's like, yeah, okay. People agree with the sentiment. But it's never really laid out that it's like, you know, to do that, it's going to require some work. And it's going to not be the easiest thing in the world.
I think that there are things about our society, too. And I'm not talking about like advertising necessarily. But we don't encounter different types of bodies like maybe we would in a more natural state, you know, like in a more tribal or, you know.
It's all hidden.
Whatever. It's all hidden unless you frequent the Y, you know, or like the gym and you see lots of naked bodies frequently, you know, or maybe you work in a field where you do have to like see people naked or whatever, then you're not sort of exposed to all the different types of bodies that there are. And so when you are only seeing, this argument is so tired, but like advertisement bodies and the way that your faces are supposed to look at certain ages, or like Jennifer Lopez is exalted for the way she looks. She's like, she's 50 and look at her face. Like, okay, that's not realistic. That's not an attainable goal for normal people, especially people from that, whatever. So
maybe
what I'm saying is we're not exposed to it, so we don't see it.
Yeah, I think the more we talk about this, I think that the physical aspect of it, you said this already, you're not okay with yourself in some other way. I think the physical aspect of it is just a byproduct of not being comfortable with who you are as a person outside of your physical appearance. The physical appearance, man, if I just looked good, I wouldn't have to think about any of these other things because everything would just be handed to me. We already hit upon it. I think that's it. And if I could look a different way, I wouldn't have to think about the fact that I'm anxious or that I'm a perfectionist. And, you know, I don't put myself out there because I'm smart. And if I get things wrong, I can't handle it. And things like that. You have to become okay with who you actually are. And that's a difficult prospect. And then people just look for easy ways. Everyone, you know, wants to work hard. They say, "Oh, I'm all about working hard," but they don't actually work hard about on things that matter. They work hard to make money. I'll work hard to make some money because that can maybe offset some of that too. I'm not really okay with myself. I got a lot of money, you know. Just to bring up the dick thing again, I know the joke is the guy's got a convertible in his 40s, and what's he trying to prove? Or that could be in the midlife crisis also.
That's a different thing. But yeah, I know what you're saying. But like I have a muscle car.
Yeah, it's like you're overcompensating for a small dick, possibly, and probably overcompensating for many things. Or also you could just enjoy a muscle car. But there's guys who drive a muscle car around who are showing the fucking thing off and aren't just enjoying the muscle car. It's like a person who donates to charity or does good things but tells everyone about it. It's like what if you're really doing it because you want to help other people, you don't feel a need to tell other people about it because the act itself is really. But what you're saying is, you want people to know so they think that you're a good person. There's no reason to broadcast that you do nice things for other people. And I think that some people drive their cars around like that. If you just want to take your car out for a drive and cruise around, enjoy that displacement and that horsepower and like the aesthetic of the cars because there's some nice designs, great. There's nothing wrong with that. And just by doing it doesn't automatically mean, but there are people who just drive slowly around town, windows down, looking around at everyone at every stoplight, looking for eye contact. I refuse to look at you. I refuse to look at your dumb car, your hunk of metal. That tells me nothing about you and just doesn't make you better than anyone else. Your self-image, like I wonder where that person's self-image is. I'm cool because I got a car.
I'm sure it's all over the place, but the sort of worse version of it is someone who feels small.
Everyone's just fucking lonely. They won't admit it. They're all lonely. No one feels known or seen or comfortable. And they're all just flailing around, pretending to be things they're not.
Are you aware of your body while you're in it? Are you aware of your body?
I mean, I got stoned once and was claustrophobic in my own body. I was very aware of it then. I was aware that it was just a brain.
The best way that I can express it is like in sex, like during sex. I'm very connected to my body, obviously, but like I don't think about what my body's looking like. Do you know what I mean? Whereas like if I were not in sex, not doing sex.
Not in sex.
If I am not in sex, but I were doing those same positions, I would be so like weird and awkward and embarrassed.
Yeah, well, there's something to take your mind off of it. You're enjoying something. You're maybe being yourself. Maybe you're comfortable in sex. Some people aren't even comfortable in that.
Yeah. So that feels kind of good.
And then they're mimicking things that they see or things that their buddies have told them that women like.
Yeah.
She likes to be upside down, hanging off the bed, and you over her and jackhammering. That's great.
Yeah, the weird jackhammer move. Yeah. Who enjoys that?
The rush of blood to her head and all the weight pressing on her neck and her spine. She loves it. I do it with my wife all the time. And then you're like, okay, I'll try to do this.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's spice up the bedroom.
Instead of trying to understand.
I'm gonna hang your ass upside down tonight, baby.
Instead of trying to understand what you actually like and maybe what the person you're with actually likes. It's too much.
That's true too. That's the muscle car. The jackhammer move is the muscle car of the sex world.
Yeah. And then at that point, it's not a matter of if she liked it. You just tell everyone that you did it.
And then she fakes it just so that she can move on with her life and this can be done now.
Yeah, get this over with. If I heard that noise, sex would stop immediately. Like
sometimes when I'm watching porn and it sounds too fake. I'm like, I don't believe you.
I don't believe any of them. I should.
I do believe some of it.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I was going to say that quite often, more than not, though. This is not a dig at people.
If you're on Brazzers, none of that's real.
Yeah, well, I was going to say it's not a dig at people who are in porn, and obviously somewhere. Maybe they enjoy sex, maybe they don't. It's a job, they're choosing to do it. That's not what I'm judging. I just have to think you can't really enjoy doing this constantly with these guys. These gross apes. These are the ones.
That's a whole nother sort of field to explore. Which maybe we should talk about that.
What? Do you have to have a guess? Do you really enjoy having sex in porn? You're an actress.
I wouldn't believe anything they said.
Why, you think they would just sell it?
Yeah. And they're not going to like open up about trauma.
Well, it doesn't always have to be trauma.
No, but
I know you've got your working theories on this. All right, you can save it for another time.
Okay. Should we redo this?
No. What are you doing? You're giving me
the wrapping. I was doing the wrap it up.
You're ready to wrap it up on that note? That's how you want to end the show, on that awkwardness?
I just didn't know if you were ready.
No, we can get there. We're there. I think I've said everything I have to say about self-image. But again, for me, for the longest time, I never really accepted who I was and tried to be something I wasn't. Mm-hmm. Created that idealized image, which, didn't work. This is being neurotic, by the way, is just a byproduct of this. Being neurotic is, I've created these systems, I've put this idea of who I am in place, and it's not matching, and I don't know what the hell to do. And I'm sure
we've had similar things in that way where I didn't go the modesty route as far as like objects or things, but I did go the emotional modesty. Like, I'm not going to take up too much of your emotional needs. Like, I'm easy breezy. And then if I did need something, I would logically explain it away, or I would just feel like, well, that's too big of a thing. So I'm just not going to. It became for myself. Like I would feel like I needed to have emotional modesty even with myself, not just with others.
Yeah, and as you move forward and you start to understand this better, you realize that even in your advanced age, that you're not really missing out, that things are more enjoyable now. At least the potential is there than going back when you had your youth and you had your looks and your smooth skin. Yeah. It's like at that point, it's like, I find
this is wisdom.
I find
this is what wisdom looks like living through those things and realizing this way is actually, it's different and it's not as good looking. Maybe things aren't as easy, but it's still actually a little bit better.
I find it to be disappointing that people think that at some point you just age out of good things in life. It's like, all right, well, if only I could go back, my glory days I really would not go back. If
you peak in high school, you're fucked the rest of your life.
Well, what was happening with me is I was certainly not peaking, but I was getting tired. I was getting run down. I was like, I can't keep living like this. And I didn't understand what I needed to change. And it's still a process, and it's still not perfect. But, the more I know and the more I'm comfortable with myself, I still have my fear of death. That will never go away. And aging is tied to that. But I'm not so afraid of at least the next couple decades of aging and how I'm going to look. I don't care about that at all.
Yeah, you're a man, though. It's a little different.
I know it's different, but that's a problem in its own right. That's, again, we've hit these topics on other shows. For women, there was an aging episode that we did. Yes, definitely, it's different for women. And I don't deny that, and hopefully that's something that can change. I guess there's a fear when your body starts to fail you. That would suck. It's like I'm still here. If your brain's still intact, I'm still here, and my body's not really cooperating anymore. But, that aside, I don't feel as though, I feel like maybe the best days are still to come. They surely for me haven't passed. And maybe that was part of my ultimate plan. My grand scheme was do it this way on purpose. Make everything suck up until this point. That way, when you get older, you don't have to worry about it. Though I still think about death every single waking moment.
Yeah. So is it actually better? I guess it's better in some ways.
Maybe somewhere in this, as I become more comfortable with myself and my self-image, changes to more of a realistic reflection. The fear of death fades a little bit, but still, it hits you and you're like, that's going to happen? That is going to happen? Anyway, people thought we were going to get through this episode without bringing up death. Surprise! Here we are.
Bring it to a place of death.
Okay, now I'll give you. All right. I'll give you the signal.
Yes, thank you everyone for listening. Please love yourselves and love us, and like and subscribe, rate and review. Tell your friends if they're running out of podcasts to listen to. Throw ours their way and tell them it's a thoughtful, interesting, topic-driven show they're gonna love. Also support our sponsor, Hoff Sauce. I wasn't sure if I was gonna say Hoff and Pepper or whatever. Anyway, hot sauce, really good, locally made in Chattanooga. They ship all over the country. hoffandpepper.com. Use our code OneTopic15 for 15% off. And thanks everybody. Bye. Greg.
Hey, Autumn.
Do you like hot sauce?
I do like hot sauce, but I'm getting pretty bored of my regular Texas Pete or Tabasco. I'm looking for a local sauce without any additives or extracts. A company that uses local peppers so it's as fresh as possible, and a company that really cares about the integrity of the sauce and where their ingredients come from.
Definitely.
And hey, while we're at it, I don't want a sauce with too many ingredients. A lot of other sauces out there, they have all kinds of fillers. So I'd love to find a sauce with, I don't know, let's say no more than 5 ingredients. I mean, it's crazy, but there's gotta be a company out there that hand processes their sauce. Bottling and labeling every bottle themselves. I'm probably asking a lot.
Well, you really are, but there is a hot sauce out there who only uses 5 ingredients.
What?
0 fillers, additives, or extracts, and who bottles, labels, and packages everything themselves. It's called Hoff Sauce.
What?
They're a small batch hot sauce company out of Chattanooga, Tennessee that's won Best Louisiana-style sauce in the country. How many times? Not once, not twice, 3 times.
3 times!
How does that sound, Greg?
I think that sounds amazing.
You know how you can get your own bottle of hot sauce?
No, tell me please now.
Hoffandpepper.com. And not only am I giving you the gift of the best hot sauce that you'll ever taste, I'm going to give you 15% off if you use the code ONETOPIC15.
Hold on, that's...
Yes, get a pen and paper.
One Topic 15.
Good. That's ONETOPIC 15. All squished together at checkout. You'll get 15% off your order and your life will be better.
Thank you.
You're welcome.